All right, Paul. Thanks again for your patience and sending in your swings again. I want to talk about the real issues that I see remaining in your swing that are going to really help with that low pull hook. Because that low pull hook is a path that comes in, fairly neutral to even a little bit across still, but the face is closed even more than the path. So, in other words, your path is still going to the right of where your club face is, okay? So, there's two ways to fix that. Obviously, the first one is to create less of a differential, because it's the difference between the face and the path. It's too great, so there's a lot of curve. That's why it hooks instead of draws. But it's a pull to begin with. So the fact is, the ball starts left of where you want it to, then it curves even more. So we've got the wrong matchup there. So that's why we want to get this under control, and I'm going to show you how to do that, because I know that's a frustrating shot. I know your contact's better and all that, but we want to actually hit it where we intend as well, okay? So before I get into anything further, one of the things I'm going to have you do after you do some of these drills is work on start line, okay? So what that'll involve is a basket at your range or a stick, and I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So if for some reason my old brain doesn't remember this, you can email me or whatever back, and I'll make sure that I get a video of that for you. But I'm going to try and remember to do it at the end, okay? So here's what's the real big issues in your swing right now is you set up pretty well. I talked about confirming your weight pressures in the balls of your feet and not your heels. Because obviously I can have the same posture and I can rock back and forth without changing any posture. So just make sure it's more in the balls of your feet. It looks like it's back in your heels just a little bit. And the problem with, if it gets back in my heels, then I'm gonna wanna move this way, which is what you do in your backswing. So that's the reason I want you to confirm that. So you've really gotta feel, to you it'll probably feel like it's in your toes more, just because if you've had it in your heels in the past, okay? Otherwise, just kind of where the front of your shoelaces is where you should feel your weight pressure. So here's your move when you start back. This is what kills you. Your chest immediately goes up and out of your bend. Instead of rotating on a plane where you basically stay more here, you do this. You basically come up and out. When you do that, your butt sucks under you, your shoulders level off, and your overall posture is more vertical. Now here's the problem. We don't have any room for our arms to get back in front of us, so what you do is you throw them out and away from you in order to get them back. Because otherwise, if you tried to swing down with your hands and arms more in a place where they should be, you got no room for them here. So you would crash into your body, and it would be like this, and then you'd be stuck. So the backswing sets you up for failure before you ever have a chance. That's the important point I'm trying to make, okay? You get better turn, you get decent turn here, but we could keep this pelvis a little more under us, and that'll help us turn a little more. So all that is more hip turn. So if I'm in a box here, and the more I turn, the more you'll see space here, okay? Ben Hogan liked to say he'd put a rag in his back pocket, and he'd feel like if there was a pane of glass behind him that it was wiping the window that way. So in other words, it went that way more. See, the tailbone's traveling towards the target. That's the feel. That frees up more turn, which will get you in a little bit better position, okay? But at the same time, it's how you turn. So in other words, this drill right here would be a great one, putting the club across your chest. Feeling this butt into the club work down and in more towards your knee, like toward your right knee. See, like that. You need to feel a lot more of this left crunch as you turn back. So you're staying in your front bend and you're crunching into the left side. That's how you stay in this posture, which will keep the butt back, get the weight pressure into the right heel like we want it, and actually maintain all of our start lines. Because what we're trying to actually do is just maintain where our head and our butt start all the way to the top, okay? So a good practice for this, I want you to do this drill. This would be a really good drill. Ideally, you do this in the house and put your head against a wall. So you get into your comfortable golf posture, the one you're in right now. Put your head against a wall, put your butt against a chair, put a golf club across your chest. So in order to miss the wall, see, if I turn like you are now, this butt of the club would hit the wall immediately right there, okay? It would actually hit the wall, and you wouldn't be able to turn. So you'd feel it go more like that to avoid hitting the wall, okay? Like that. And you would stay against this chair. So you're gonna feel this turn more vertically, and the chair, you'll stay in contact. Notice I'm not doing this, trying to go down. Now, if your head was against a wall, you couldn't do that anyway. But you could still push this chair back. We don't want to do that. We just want to stay against it to the top. But we need to change the way you rotate. We need to learn to do this. So it's like this feeling more. This works down and in instead of yours, which goes up and out, okay? That's the problem right now that causes you all this out, stand up and out and throw. The problem with all that is that's where the closed face comes from, because we're having to, once you go, you stand up and out, you start steep and you're like, oh crap, I got to do something. So you drop your head down and back, and that's where this face closes on you, okay? And you get a lot of this throw look, and the hands work out and away instead of, if you rotated, they would work much more around and in. We're not pulling that across, we're just turning it across us. Notice this club's still coming on this angle as our hand works around us. See the difference? So that's the new path we need to create. So here's the drills I'm gonna have you focus on, and I want you to send me videos of you doing these drills. One would be, at minimum, a chair against the backside and a golf club on the shoulder, just turning like this, staying in your bends. Then after you do that a while, see if you can do it with a golf club, okay? So get up to that good position, stay in these bends, and maintain those start lines. That would be the first drill I want you to focus on, okay? That's a real big one, because now that gets us set up in a position where we can actually feel this thing coming from the inside, okay? Now, the other one I wouldn't mind seeing you do is to put a chair against your right hip. This one is it's a little high for what I need to do, but feel like you create a lot of space at the top. So that pelvis will feel more under you. That tailbone will feel more like it's going that way. I want you to feel a little more of that, okay? Especially with all the tilt you got right now. You really need to feel that pelvis underneath you so you can just turn back into it, okay? That pelvis staying on that line. So when you said you were hitting you felt like your weight was hanging back, I believe you told me. Well, you got a lot of tilt, and then you just stay on this line. That's gonna make you feel that pressure back. And another thing that's gonna make the pressure feel back is as you got steep early, like I said before, you have to drop your head back this way and down, so that's your shallowing move. Because watch, you're steep early and you're like, uh-oh, so you drop back that way to get it back on plane. Okay, so what that looks like is this. You're steep early and then you're like, uh-oh, so you go back that way. That's gonna also make you feel like you're hanging pressure back, okay? So I need you to clean up that backswing in order to get all this other stuff set up to succeed, okay? Then the next thing I need you to work on a little more is impact, okay? The way that you get into impact. So I want you to do a couple of basic drills here. The first one is gonna be to use a stick. And I probably sent this to you before, but I wanna reiterate the importance of it. Because with your current release, you'd hit your side, okay? So you just take this thing back a little ways, like to about right here, and I want you to feel like you have a bunch of space off your side when you hit the ball. But it's not from pulling the arms there, it's from turning there. See the difference? I'm turning, I'm not pulling, okay? So I need you to get that correct, because that's a big difference. Watch the difference of the look. Pull, see how the hands stay way out here? And watch the difference when I do it correct. Hands go behind me, they're hidden early. But it's not because I pulled them there, it's because I turned them there, okay? That's what I want you to work on. This stick drill, hit little shots like this. Just little chips, that hard. They'll go about 20 yards. We need to learn to get our chest open more. What this will do is give you face control. Notice my club face as I do this. It's going to stay really stable through there. See, yours goes here and then turns hard because your hand's trying to roll through impact, okay? There. See how stable this face stays. Look, club face. It's very stable all the way through. It doesn't roll, okay? That's how your face is closing right now. So that would be a really good drill, hitting little mellow shots like this. Feel like you create a bunch of space off your hip, like you could put a basketball in between it. But it's because you cleared your chest, you didn't pull your arms, okay? Obviously, we have to have some spine angle here in order to do this, not stand up, because you'd never be able to do it, okay? That would be another really good drill for you. So I want you to focus on those, and those will be really, really big ones for you. And then the last thing I would say for now is to work on some no-throw feel, okay? So your arm is very extended at impact. That's you trying to get this thing back out in front of you because, like I said, you had stood up and you have no room. So you have to learn the backswing stuff before you can stop doing that, okay? But I want you to hit little shots just like I showed you with the stick, but it's a no-throw. So a no-throw feel is essentially getting a little bit of bend here in your arm, okay? So it'd be about 60 degrees of bend in your arm, getting it right on your right hip here. And just feeling, so see how the club face is on my back line? So yours tends to be a little more up, but you're out of posture a little. So if you just bent forward, it would be better. It would be on your back line, okay? So here, and just feel this thing stay, and we just turn in. See how much of my pockets and back are showing? I feel like I get the seam of my pants or my shirt all the way around that way. See, you're much more here. I want you to be more here, okay? So to break it down to the simplest motion, one arm no throws work well. So here, turn and chip the ball. It's very hard to do. If you pull your arms, good luck. You'll never do it. If you leave it and you turn, you can get to where you can chip really good shots this way, okay? That's gonna help you with that impact, and that's gonna give you face control because the face is very stable when all we do is turn. There's no throwing it, no it's rotating in naturally as we turn, okay? That'll be a much better feel for you. Then after you do one arms for a little bit, turn and chip it, okay? Chip, just like that. Then you take two arms, back, same feel, okay? Same thing as the stick, really. The only difference is no throw means we never straighten that arm. So when we're done chipping the ball, it's there. I've still got that bend. You don't go like this and cheat it. We do this, here, here, okay? Leave it bent. So it would be the same feeling as if you went to throw this basket to someone, you had your elbows on your sides and you went like this. Just literally turn with your elbows bent. That's a no throw. Forces rotation, okay? So, one more time from another angle. Here, elbows on the side, just turn with no release. There, okay? Or at the camera, elbows on the side, there. That's it. Sorry, Soph, I have my dog. She's okay though. Anyways, so you get the idea. Elbows on the sides, turn, okay? That's the feel. So when you do that in a golf motion, elbows on the sides, turn, okay? And you're gonna hit little shots that way. We need to start getting rid of this right arm being straight. But like I said, you gotta get to the top in a good place before we can learn to rotate and keep some bend. We need to learn to have some bend at impact in this arm. Bend forces rotation. Throwing the arm forces stall. bend, rotation, stall, straight arm, or straight arm equals stall, okay? That bend, the only way to get to the ball is to turn. That's what you need to learn to do, okay? So focus on the bottom a little more, but also getting to the top in the right place, maintaining our spine angles. I'd like a video sent of a no-throw drill, a stick drill, and that posture drill with the chair behind you, either in your house or outside, working on maintaining our angles better. To be clear one more time, if I had this coming out of my chest, you're coming up early. You're like this. And that gets the club inside early, okay? So what we want to feel is the chest stays down more. It's going this way more instead of this way, okay? So, again, stick on the chest, feels more down and in, like that, okay? So work on that. Send me some follow-up videos and I'll check it out and we'll make sure we're on the right track, because this is going to get rid of these pull hooks, and then that contact's going to be a lot better as well, because you won't feel like you're hanging on your back foot. All right? Hope that helps, Paul.